Yay! Okay, you might be thinking to yourself, Angie, you're wearing a lot of red. You're wearing so much red and none of the reds match. And to that, I would say, don't be rude, don't be mean. I'm wearing red today in honor of East High. Thank you. As you may know, based on my previous videos, you might know that I am collecting physical media for a myriad of reasons. Feel free to check that video out after this video for like the full breakdown on why I'm collecting DVDs. I started with records, then CDs. Now I'm in my DVD era. So I was walking through the thrift the other day and I found the Grail. Do people say that? High School Musical, the Encore Edition, which I guess just has like extra bonus features or like shows the actual encore that plays in the post credits. If you know, you know. I don't know how to describe this. I guess we'll unbox it together, undisc it. What do you even call these covers? Okay, so we're gonna like undisc it together, yeah? High School Musical Encore Edition includes original and sing-along versions. And this is a disc with the like little clasps, which, I don't know, just makes it feel a little extra premium. Here it is. Here it is in all of its glory. We have a little pamphlet with the scene selections on one side. And then we have the actual disc, which you can't really tell, but it's like a little iridescent, which not a lot of DVDs have. So of course, I love these little promotional pieces. I think they're hilarious because on the back, we have summer fun for the whole family. Sensational singing sisters Allie and AJ in their first movie, Cowbells. I love Cowbells. And then we have Leroy and Stitch. Not a huge fan, but cute that it's in here. This movie is everything to me. If you know anything about me, how do I say this? When this premiered on Disney Channel, I taped over something, probably a home video, like a sentimental home video on VHS, recorded it on my TV. I don't even know how at 6 years old I knew how to do that. Technology was just different then, but I did record it and I watched it over and over and over and over again. What are we doing? This is going to be a movie review. I just love the movie. I love the movie. I loved Vanessa Ann Hudgens. She went by Vanessa Ann Hudgens at the time, later changed it to Vanessa Hudgens, and I hate her for it. I feel like I always say this, but she might have been the first half Filipina that I ever found in media. I was like, I could finally see myself in her. Love it. I was so obsessed with the movie that in elementary school, I used all of my parents' ink in their printer to print out booklets. Oh my God, this is so embarrassing. I really hope someone can relate to this because I'm just putting myself out there. I printed out lyric booklets from like lyrics 1, 2, 3 or ABC or something, A to Z lyrics. And the cover page was the movie poster. And then it was all of the lyrics to all of the songs. And I like stapled it all together. I like think I would like hand out the booklets to like acquaintances, like friends who were not really friends yet that I wanted to get closer to. Like I would like give them a booklet and be like, yeah, like, do you want to sing these songs? Like at recess. I don't really know what my plan was with the booklets, but like I knew all of the lyrics front to back probably the day after the movie came out. You know what I mean? I was obsessed with this movie. So there was that. And it got to a point where like when they put out like the dance edition where Ashley Tisdale and Zac Efron are in the commercial breaks like teaching you how to get your head in the game, like I knew all of the choreography. I was never a great dancer. But you bet your bottom dollar, like I was in there. So I knew all of the lyrics front to back. I knew all of the choreo. High School Musical on Tour was my very first concert, which is really funny when you think about it because now I lie about that, like to like peers. I very much like work in music and that's a question that comes up a lot. Like, oh, who was your first concert? A lot of people have like really cool first concerts. They say Avril Lavigne or No Doubt or like, I don't know, Maroon 5. I have to lie and say that my first concert was John Mayer because my actual first concert was when I was like 8 years old. It was the High School Musical on Tour with Drew Seeley. Yeah. So I think after I ran my makeshift elementary school High School Musical tape into the ground, I just had never revisited the movie. And through the years, I've revisited High School Musical 2, especially like when I got my first job and like it's a nice summer vibe. So sometimes like during the summertime, I'll revisit the second movie. And of course, the third movie is about like milestones and moving on in your life and entering a new chapter. So I rewatched the second and third one through the years and just kind of left the original on the back burner because I was like, I did too much. I did too much at 8 years old, and I have enough High School Musical for a lifetime. Until I saw the Encore Edition in my local thrift store. Also, hi, I'm Angie. I talk about movies, TV, nostalgia mostly, which is why we are revisiting Disney Channel original movies in general on this channel. Sit down, stay a while. If you want to pause and change into some red for East High spirit, feel free. Join me. We have a fun time over here. I have a fun time over here. I really hope that you have a fun time as well. We're just walking down memory lane together.
Wildcats, sing along. Yeah, you really got it going on. Wildcats in the house. Everybody say it now.
Let's talk about the movie. Zac Efron and Vanessa Hudgens have such palpable chemistry. I don't think that Disney Channel ever had two leads connect that way on screen, and I don't think they were ever able to replicate it. I know that they were dating when they were filming the first movie. I think by the third they broke up, but for sure in the first movie. And it was like they had just met, just started dating. Like it's that puppy love. It's that honeymoon phase of their lives. You can see it on screen. Like you can see that they were dating and had a very physical but also emotional chemistry. When they meet in that little cabin during the winter time for start of something new, you just feel the butterflies. You feel like you're in the room. You're like, oh my God, am I interrupting something? Like, should I leave? And then when they connect after the karaoke portion where they're looking up at the fireworks and it's New Year's Eve, and obviously the expectation is that you kiss your date at midnight, and they're just like kind of, it's like a will they, won't they, and they exchange numbers, and then she disappears, and he's like, where did she go? We should have known from an early age that Zac Efron was going to do huge things, because the way I was like, that man's in love with her, and he was at the time, but you know what I mean. Once again, when Gabriella transfers into East High and he sees her for the first time and he's dumbfounded, he doesn't know what to do. We have the star captain of the basketball team just at a loss for words. He's like, what are you doing here? Oh my God, like, you go to school here? I wanted to call you. Also, oh my God, I'm like giggling. I watched it like last night. He takes her to like his little special spot that like he's cool with the science team, the science club. So he has like a special rooftop that nobody on his team knows about. And he takes her there. What could be more romantic? Then when he's trying to win her back, he like apparates out of thin air and appears on her like porch outside of her room. He's like, I have a surprise for you. And he starts singing. Now, the singing made sense. I remember clocking it as a young person, being like, you're singing the start of something new to win her back. A cappella. I understand. You're a little pitchy.
I feel in my heart.
Like, it doesn't sound like it did in the recording, because when he appears on her porch, it's actually Zac Efron singing, and it's not Drew Seeley. That's a whole other video we could get into. Why Drew Seeley was the voice of Zac Efron when Zac Efron probably could have sang all along. He just needed a little bit more training, because by the third movie, he was singing himself. No clue. No clue. Yeah, I don't know. It was just like, it was a proper courtship. In my DCOMs video, I pointed out a lot of movies that centered around finding yourself as an adolescent. It centered around ambition and working hard to get to where you want to be. And this movie has all of that. However, at its core, at its very base, it's just a really great romance led by Zac Efron and Vanessa Hudgens. Like, what a time, what an era. Everything else outside of the two of those protagonists is just noise, including Chad Danforth. Upon rewatch as an adult, I've come to the conclusion that Chad Danforth was a freak and a hater. So Troy Bolton is going through a self-discovery of sorts where he's like, I don't want to just be the basketball guy. I just want to be a guy. I want to do the things that I want to do. If I like to sing, so be it. And Chad was basically accusing him of being gay. Yeah. Let's get into that.
Look, the music in those shows isn't hip-hop, okay, or rock, or anything essential to culture. It's like show music. It's all costumes and makeup.
There was an underlying homophobic behavior coming out of Chad this entire movie. Clock it. Two really weird things that Chad Danforth did that I misremembered and upon rewatch was freaky and weird. Number one, auditions for the Winter Musicale were during free period. Chad walks up to Troy in the hallway and he goes, hey, me and the guys are gonna like shoot around during free period. Like, do you wanna come? Troy's like, no, I'm behind on schoolwork. Now, should he have lied to his friend? Yes. Because his friend was acting weird the whole time. Like, of course he lied to his friend. His friend has been shunning him and dropping little homophobic notes throughout this entire journey thus far. So Troy lies and he says, hey dude, like, sorry, like I'm already behind on schoolwork. Like I'm just gonna like catch up during free period. Chad's like, okay, freak. He goes, it's the second day of school. I'm not even behind on schoolwork.
You know, I've been behind on home since preschool.
It was a weird interaction. Troy maybe shouldn't have lied. He was acting sus. However, after that interaction happens, the bell rings and Troy goes, okay, bye, and goes on his merry way to the audition room, the auditorium, if you will. Chad chases him down the hallway and through the school. Like, I can understand that, like, you know, this whole chase scene is supposed to illustrate that, like, Troy very much is insecure about his love for the musicale and the theater. But ultimately, Chad Danforth was chasing the man through the school to try to see what he was up to. I'm sorry. I love my friends. I love my friends so bad. Never in my life would I chase them down the hallways and through the school if I felt like they were lying to me. Once again, Troy was lying to Chad. Nonetheless, go play hoops. Go play hoops with your friends during free period. Leave Troy alone. He's clearly doing something. So that was freaking weird. Number 2, Chad and Taylor McKessie, as we know, conjure up this plan to have Troy and Gabriella deprioritize each other in their lives. Chad and Taylor are like, there's mayhem in the school. The nerds are dancing. The skaters are playing cello and Zeke is baking. We need to do something to stop this. So their plan is to just do something to sabotage the relationship between Troy and Gabriella. So that leads us to the locker room scene where Chad gets his entire team together. All his boys are in the locker room. They have framed photos of previous Wildcat champions lined up in a row. Chad is spitting a history lesson of all of the greats of East High, hands Troy a photo of his father at 17 years old, and is basically like, yeah, like, don't disappoint your dad, don't disappoint your team, but mostly don't disappoint your dad. Whole time, the whole team in the background is chanting, get your head in the game. Like, Troy's like, yeah, 1988 champion, get your head in the game. Like, it is cultish. It is scary. It is not great. Okay. So we have the framed photos of his father at 17 years old. We have the chanting in the background. And then ultimately we have the webcam set up. If someone were recording me, now everyone was fully clothed. Okay. However, if someone were recording me on a webcam, a live stream, if you will, in a locker room, I'm arresting you. I'm calling the cops. I'm telling the principal. Are you joking? And this was what? 2004? When was this? 2006. Webcams were clunky. Okay, it was not very discreet. You brought a goddamn camcorder basically into the locker room and you're recording the things that I'm saying. I'm gonna. So that's Chad being a effing weirdo. Chad was a freako this entire movie. And honestly, it doesn't get better in the next. Maybe I'll do a part 2 on High School Musical 2 and the freakishness that Chad Danforth was. You're a freak. Here's another thing I misremembered. As a child, I don't think I really understood what was going on. Despite the fact that I watched this movie over and over and over and over again, I was 8. You know what I mean? My processing was not that advanced at the time. So the final scene where Troy and Gabriella get up on stage and sing their song, I think that the narrative afterwards in online forums, yes, I was in online forums discussing this movie later in life. The big joke is like, what was this play about? There's a big moon in the background. They sing Breakin' Free. What is the rest of the play about? That wasn't the play. That was not the Winter Musicale. The big moment, the huge day where it's Scholastic Decathlon, the freaking NBA championships, or at least they were acting like it, you know what I mean? The state championships and this singing portion. It was a callback. It was a callback, which if you didn't know what a callback is, like that's not the play. It's just like round 2 of auditions. When they sing what I've been looking for, the reprise, that was the auditions. The big day where they shut down the power in the school so that Troy and Gabriella could sing, and they filled up the entire auditorium with the entire East High student body, the entire West High Knights student body, because they were all there for the Scholastic Decathlon and the game. So everyone's piling into the auditorium, everyone's dancing, everyone's clapping. Miss Jarvis throws her clipboard. That was callbacks. Like the stakes were actually so much lower than I thought they would be. I think maybe it would have been more impactful if it was like they booked it and then they were gonna miss the play. But I digress. It's just like it was just callbacks. It just like wasn't that serious. I wish the stakes were a little higher. But clearly they impacted me nonetheless. Pause. Subscribe if you went to the High School Musical tour. And subscribe if you didn't go to the High School Musical tour, but you really wanted to. Like, I just feel like you're really gonna like my channel. I really truly believe it in my heart of hearts. If you like this video, if you like the DCOMs video, if you like the physical media video, you know what I mean? Like, I just really think you're gonna like it. High School Musical became a global phenomenon. Since then, obviously, like I said, cast went on tour. Kenny Ortega earns his star on the Walk of Fame in Hollywood. And no, I don't really think it's because of Dirty Dancing, I'll say it. I think it was because of the High School Musical franchise and what he did with it. High School Musical 3 went on to have a full-blown theater release, and Zac Efron's entire filmography came to fruition. Like, he was in The Lucky One. He was in The Greatest Showman. I'm really excited to see, like, where Zac Efron goes for the rest of his career, but, like, he's got some heaters since his start on the Disney Channel. My closing thoughts are that High School Musical greatly impacted my life. Probably was the reason that I entered show choir in high school. I think that tween romance movies need to come back in a really big way. The only thing we have right now is Sideline, The QB, and Me. You know, it's like it's just whatever success that Channing Tatum had or has, double it and give it to Zac Efron, the leading man of my heart forever. And shout out to half Filipinos everywhere out there. Somewhere out there. If you like this video and subscribe. I just know you're gonna have a fun time here. Like, we're gonna be friends. Click around for more. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.